Like when someone calls me, when hey, I need you to quote me blank, blank, and blank. Cool. What are you trying to do? I know your system. What are you trying to accomplish? Oh yeah, we're trying to do blah, blah, blah. Cool. That's not the piece you want. You want this piece because it's going to let you do this thing like you just said, and, you know.
Because if you order a number 1, you get the 3 tacos and a drink.
Yeah, exactly.
Now I want Taco Bell.
I should just start showing up to shows dressed in all blacks and like an armful of XLR cable. I'm not from here. Where
am I supposed to go?
Where am I supposed to go? Because like, you know, all those things make sense. I bet you that would trick someone.
Oh yeah, you could totally get somebody. Yeah,
totally.
Don't do that. So, we good?
What's up, Jordan? I've never been so close and yet so far away from you.
Oh wait, there's no 2-shot. We don't even know.
There isn't a 2-shot. Nobody knows. We're in different rooms, actually.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
we're socially distancing.
You're very clearly not.
Scaro social.
I saw a some dog food commercial, and they were in like split screens.
Yeah,
and then like the dog went over the split.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, look at these guys.
I see what you're doing here. They've been doing that a lot with eye commercials. Have you seen the one where they like peel open like what looks like an eyelid and walk through it?
No.
Oh, I hope they took it offline. Jan and I were watching TV and that came on, and I was like,
The only live TV I watch with commercials is football.
Same.
So I am starting to get a little frustrated with, you know, like the NFL is supposed to be like family friendly.
Yes.
And then yet there's still like horror movie commercials.
Yes.
That like terrify my children. And it like genuinely like gets me really upset.
I need, next time I see that, I need to note which one it is.
Costco does that too?
No, not, but they'll have like, I mean, like pretty scary, intense, like Halloween decorations.
Oh, like decorations?
Oh.
It's July.
I got it.
Why?
What do you? So I use YouTube TV, right? So
Yeah.
when I go to watch Lions game, right, you get 3 choices sometimes.
Yeah.
You want to watch on this is this. I can't remember which one is the one that's the cleanest to put it on. So like next time I need to make a note. Oh, this
they
one
only
had
give me one 4K option.
Oh yeah.
So it's like I just select the 4K option.
Got ya.
Maybe we should switch to Hulu.
Well, I have 2 for it. Depends. You can do different packages of YouTube TV too. But
what do you mean?
Hulu, when I looked into doing Hulu too. So I had like Sony streaming TV when that first came out because through the PS5, and it was $20 and you got like every channel. It was great.
Yeah, you know,
not through the PS5,
I've been trying to
through the
cancel
PS3.
my PlayStation account, and I cannot do it. It's driving me absolutely crazy.
It's tough. Like your PS Plus account or something.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
Because I dumped the PlayStation.
Oh, you already got the PlayStation.
Oh yeah, I've got an Xbox already.
Oh yeah,
I've moved on.
But I mean, is the PlayStation gone?
Oh yeah.
Oh, it would have been a lot easier to get rid of if you still had it.
I tried to do it like 17 times. Dude, I mean, Google searches and ChatGPT prompts, and
you'll never be rid of it.
Yeah. Well, eventually, when I dispute charge after charge, eventually they'll stop trying to charge me.
Or cancel the credit card and get a different one.
Yeah, sorry, lost the card. But
that'll cancel it real quick.
Or real slow. No, real quick.
Yeah, real quick. If they're not getting payment, close the account, shut it down.
Yeah.
Sean, I'm with you. Jordan, it does feel like it's been like 900 years since we've seen you. We did move offices and everything. You've been here a couple times since we've moved offices.
Yeah.
It's been so
short.
Here
after hours, too.
Just to pick something up, drop something off. We don't get to have any meaningful conversations.
Sneak into the office to record a video without any of us knowing.
No.
Then send a Google Drive link. Here you go.
Hey, here's the video. What?
Wait, what? When were you here?
I'd forgotten about it by the time he saw it too, because you were like,
that's
hey,
right. Yeah.
I think, yeah. And I forgot about it, and he's like, I saw Jordan's video, and I'm like, what? Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I came by and like there were people in like in the front conference room. And I'm like, okay, maybe I don't go in there today because I don't want to throw off if they have a shoot or something like that.
I got you a desk in the hallway here. You haven't utilized it yet.
Well, then you guys were like, oh, we might have to charge you guys. Charge you rent.
No, I said I'm fine with you coming in, but like you made it sound like you were like moving in and you're gonna be like another suite mate. And I'm like, well, if you're here like literally like all the time, you might have to pay some rent. But
yeah, you have your hard bargain at $25.
I do have like a
square foot.
Is it the desk or is it the end of the hall?
Yeah, yeah. I just need the spot I'm sitting in.
Yeah.
Just like, I won't even use this part of the desk. Just like he comes in, he just puts tape down.
How big is my laptop? I saw your elbow move across the line. That's a 25-cent infraction.
Yeah.
No, that's a common space. Elbows are allowed in the common space.
Offsides.
Yeah.
The laptop's not allowed there. Jordan, hey Sean, why is my bill so high? Well, your phone was on the tape.
You were charging it too.
There's actually a camera hidden in the ceiling above your desk. We're actually watching every move you make.
Yep.
Every move you make.
Oh, don't get us flagged.
Man, you're right. Because that sounds so much.
Wait, did we start already?
Yes. We're
100%.
recording, I guess.
This is the podcast.
This is the podcast.
Welcome.
Well, see, now we're starting. Welcome, everybody.
You know, if you ever heard Joe Rogan say welcome,
Does it sound funny, or does he just not say it?
he just doesn't say it.
Oh.
I mean,
I
he
never noticed.
He
You know,
does.
what's,
He does technically welcome them, but like most of the time, they're just having a conversation.
He gives a welcome, doesn't say welcome.
Correct.
Right?
Sometimes.
Or what's the I always forget his name, but the Grammaton podcast, Rick Rubin, like they don't even, they just pick up like mid conversation.
It's the best way.
I've heard. So
It's the best way because it's genuine conversation at that point, which is the whole point of most podcasts.
That's how everybody in my family enters a conversation. Mid-conversation, I don't know what's going on,
Yep.
but I'm interjecting with something.
Yep.
Oh, I do that in public all the time. It embarrasses my wife all the time. Someone at Meyer will be saying something and I'll just join their conversation.
Yeah.
I know that would make you uncomfortable.
no,
I was just doing that downtown during Art Prize.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
The
so you
best-
said something about Lumineers. Like, oh, I was just with them in Detroit. You're seeing them tonight at the Van Andel? Oh, cool. Yeah.
My favorite thing to do is like when like we're at like Home Depot or something like that. We're looking for something and someone's like looking at two different options. I'm like, oh, yeah, I went with this option. So much better. And they're like, oh, really? Why? And obviously give your reasons why. And
Like,
like,
well, when your kid poops on the floor, this one's easier to clean. Well, we're empty nesters.
4 hours later.
Okay,
And this
so
has been
now
our
that you're
progressive
older and used
commercial
to
on not
yeah.
becoming your parents.
Yeah, don't become
The guy at Home Depot the other day for us though.
Yeah, that was great.
we're like, because we're still redoing the office here. And
Yeah,
so like we're trying to do our entry right now. So I was like, hey, we should just do like this enamel like garage flooring. That should look cool in the space. And so we go to Depot. We're like looking at it, like trying to decide which one we want to get because there's a couple different versions and there's different colors and you know. And this guy just out of nowhere, he's like, rah! And it was like a 45-minute conversation about his houses in Florida and like helicopter pads.
Yeah.
I mean, like it was a wild conversation.
It was wild. And then it turned into a business opportunity out of nowhere too. But I think the funny thing is too, is like Justin no more than pointed his finger at a couple different boxes before you just hear this. Well, the thing about these ones is I thought Justin was just making a funny voice. You know, like we do that when you're in a hardware store. You just like talk like you're from somewhere. Well, the thing about this stuff over here is, and I'm like, oh, there's another person.
No, you turn around and there's overweight Magnum PI.
Yeah.
Well, then it was like, there was a point where I was like, cause we were on a time crunch and I'm like, well, hey, I've got to go. And so like, I walked away thinking that like me walking away. And then the guy that was with him was like, hey, you. And he like chased me down. And he's like, do you do derbying? I'm like, no, I don't.
Yeah. He's a derby car driver. The other guy was. Yeah.
It was like, it was kind of wild. And I finally like came back and like we were in the conversation for like another like, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. And I was like, well, we gotta go. Yeah. Like we have, oh, look at the time, Sean, we really have to go. And then they walked away and it was like, they were super nice. And like, it wasn't like the conversation wasn't interesting, but it was just like, we were in the middle of Depot trying to get our flooring so we could get back here.
And we needed to get back. That was not untrue. And then we saw him in the checkout.
Yeah.
But at that point he was like out of conversation. So he didn't say anything.
I don't think that guy could ever be out of conversation. He said he was an MD as well that builds houses.
Yeah.
Which I know sounds fake. I totally believe that.
Yeah.
I've met a lot of doctors that get tired of being a doctor and then they think because of
something else.
Because they're intelligent, they think they can do whatever they want to. And then they go into other fields that maybe they're okay at, but like you're a doctor for a reason.
Yep.
I'm just trying to think, is he trying to stay in Home Depot for like, oh, we got this challenge today. We're trying to stay in Home Depot for like 8 hours. Or like We're gonna like those guys that YouTubers like built the doghouse.
Am I on
in
camera
Home
somewhere?
Depot.
Is Mr. Beast gonna walk around the corner and hand me a briefcase of money?
Like,
Every minute you guys lasted in this conversation, you get $1 million. I made it 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Dang it.
I don't know. I'd take $30 million.
Yeah.
I'd do that. Yeah. Man, I'd be at Home Depot for a long time.
I mean, I could last in Home Depot for a while.
They're cleasing now? Oh, can we ask for extended hours?
Yeah. Just grab a mop and start cleaning. No habla español. Like, just English and just start going to the. They're going to kick you out? I mean, what do you think?
I don't think so.
Yeah, Depot won't kick you out. They're like Disney. They'll just slowly follow you around.
Is there anything I can help you with? Are you sure there's nothing I can help?
Put a vest on and hard hat?
Yeah.
Like, isn't that like Universal Get Anywhere?
Yeah.
Well, and
they sell those at Home Depot.
Dude.
They do. And they used to have the working ones like kind of up toward the front, just on a hanger thing.
Dude, I
yes,
remember.
My name is Hannah.
I used to watch the Yes Theory YouTube channel, and they used to do that kind of stuff all the time to see like what they could get into with just like a vest and a notepad and a hard hat.
Mm-hmm.
They got into like a movie theater. They went into like the Los Angeles Zoo. Like a bunch of just random things. They tried getting into like concerts and stuff like that. Yeah. Like, oh, we got to check the thing over here.
Yeah.
No, before the show.
Before the show.
Yeah.
Transformers.
Then they ended up doing this one thing that was really funny where they had like there was like a big famous like act that was coming into town. And so like months beforehand, they started trying to like infiltrate like the Wikipedia page and stuff and make one of them like a relative of the artist.
Interesting.
So like, hey, like I'm cousins with the artist, you know, like they were supposed to like leave me a
look
ticket.
it up on Wiki.
And they're like, no, there's nothing here. Oh, there's supposed to be something here. Like I'm their cousin. Yeah. Like, look, like you did not work.
Oh man.
That's funny.
It's a great idea though. It's a really fun, interesting thought process.
When I came off of touring, I would like go to a show and I'd walk up to the door and they'd say, oh, artist entrance is around the side. Yeah, all right, cool. I just walk around. I was like, is it the long hair and tattoos and dark clothing? Is that what it is?
Get an empty trunk and.
Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah. Where do I put my guitar?
I should just start showing up to shows dressed in all blacks and like an armful of XLR cable.
Yeah.
And then go,
my badge is inside.
I'm not from here. Where
am I supposed to go?
Where am I supposed to go? Sorry, this is like my 7th arena I've been to.
They sent me out to put these on the cable stretcher. I just finished up. I couldn't get back in the back door.
The door was locked. I was pounding for like an hour.
Oh, yeah.
I think your sound's too loud.
Yeah, I heard booms and stuff like that. So I think they're just testing the subs. Because like, you know, all those things make sense. I bet you that would trick someone.
Oh yeah, you could totally get somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
But let us know if it works.
Yeah.
If you do. But don't.
Or put it in the comments, like if you have a story like that.
I would love to hear the stories.
I would love to as well. Yeah.
Though we don't condone lying to people because it is a sin and you should not do that.
I never had to lie.
That's true.
I just walked up to the door and they told me to go to the other door.
Technically, I wouldn't be lying. I'd say, where do I go?
I'd find out where they direct you. Okay, now are we talking about lying by omission or by like...
No, I mean, if I said the other things where it's like, I've been pounding on the door for an hour, like those are all lies. But if I just show up with an armful of XLR and I go, where do I go? I don't know where I'm supposed to go.
Yeah.
I've been out here for forever. I've been trying to get in.
My arm's going to fall off.
I'm part of Art Prize, I swear.
Oh my god!
All right, we should probably.
What were we even going to talk about? I forgot.
Hey,
I love how this black magic hat fits our branding. The orange and the black. This is a good.
Hey,
they don't sponsor the show yet.
They don't sponsor the show yet.
Think like
that yet.
That is a sweet hat, though. Where'd you get that?
Oh, so it's this funny thing. So a friend of mine, Justine. Oh wait, it's Justin E.
Bro, it has been an adult long like struggle.
Adult long.
Yeah. It never happened when I was a kid.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like lifelong, but adult long.
Nope. Yeah. Only since I've been an adult, because it's only because of emails.
Yeah. Justin E.
Yeah. Justin
whatever.
E.
So he's Justine, and then now, not too far from our offices and studios here is a gas station that we frequent too much, and the manager's name is Justine.
Which we laughed at when the first time we brought it.
This is Justine. Hi.
Yeah, because they would like when we were at the church, like my email was Justin E at, but it's like people would respond, "Hey Justine," like I'm a guy and it's Justin.
Yeah.
So, and then when I was at my last company, like the owner did that on purpose because he thought it was funny. I'm like, there's one Justin in a company of 6 people.
There's no reason.
Why couldn't I just be Justin?
Yeah.
And then if we do, for some weird reason, hire another Justin, it can be Justin, their last initial.
Yeah.
Nope. It's too funny to see your name is Justine.
And therefore, that is what it shall be.
Fun times. All right, let's get into our topic for today. All right.
Come on. My lips hurt real bad.
We don't have time for another sponsor.
If your lips hurt, Bert's is
Bert's lip wax.
Okay,
you
Justin,
can still talk. Don't worry about it.
I have a subject that I want to talk about that's technically 2 questions that kind of like mingle together. So we'll start with the first question. And we've talked about this. I've heard it on some other podcasts, but like I don't feel like there's ever been an actual like answer given. It's like there's always like that theory, right? As we start to talk about the question, but like there's no like, no, I think this is the like, here's the bookends.
Yeah.
So I think I want to have the conversation and put the like, this is what we think. When do you, as a church, pay your tax?
Did you say pay your tax?
Yes. Pay your tax.
Oh, tax.
Technicians.
See, I'm telling you,
Yes.
I have apparently a weird accent. I slur my words.
When do
all
you
the
pay
time.
your
What
tax?
is it, like perma, not perma?
Are you not a 501c3?
Perma volunteers or
Yeah, permatier. Yeah.
permatiers.
And to clarify, I don't think that necessarily. I feel like the question usually gets brought on, like thought of as like when I ask that question is like, oh, when do we hire a full-time tech? I don't think it necessarily means full-time. I think it could mean like you do, like you're a subcontractor where you're there Sunday mornings for consistency, and then you're there, once or twice during the week, depending on events or whatever. Like you give them a day,
Right.
just to make sure everything's flowing smoothly and that all the tech things are taken care of,
Right.
Prepared, right?
It's almost like a fractional tech guy. Like they have fractional CFOs and CMOs and things like that at companies now. Like you're a fractional.
Yeah, you hire
you're like a part of the team, right? You're going to go to some meetings so you understand what's going on. And that's what I do. Like I'll go to the creative meetings and things like that. So I have an idea of what needs to happen from the tech side, but no need for a full time.
Right. And maybe that's 2 days a week, 3 days a week, depending on the workload. Like when do you feel like that's necessary? And what are some of the thoughts and what do you think the hangups of hiring the tech are? Type thought process.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think we've just talked about a few things there, but I think the bigger thing is like when there's an expectation, and when the church or the staff or the organization has a higher expectation for a role, that might be demanded by like a full-time person. Or, I'm sorry, not a full-time person, but like a dedicated person, where there's consistent results.
That was a good way to put it. Not dedicated, not necessarily full-time, or they're not the same thing. I like that.
Yeah.
A dedicated person.
Yeah. A dedicated, identified, consistent. So you're getting consistent results. Yeah.
Yeah. I have to agree with that. I really like that. A dedicated. Yeah. It's the role needs dedication.
I think that's good terminology.
Yeah. That is good terminology.
Because and we see this in other places in the church too, right? You have a dedicated worship person.
Yeah.
You have a dedicated teaching pastor, dedicated kids pastor.
Yeah. And I think we see a lot of people that, or a lot of places, a lot of churches, and even other nonprofit organizations, of the likes, where they have dedicated heads of different departments and things like that that are paid or unpaid, but either way. But then dedicated position and being dedicated, those are different. No, Now
but it's also like you're crafting. You start with the role, and I think this is where sometimes churches get astray straight away. It's like start thinking about the role first. Like, what does the organization need? Like, what do we need? Not like what John can give us during the week. Or
do you feel like they because I feel like there's two different thought processes
Mhm.
where, like where you can think of something in one way and go, I don't even know why I'm thinking of it that way. But it's like,
But I am.
well, because some of it's like the time that you're there, right? When we're
Mhm.
sitting there on a Wednesday talking about the church organization that we're part of,
Yep.
right? And it's like, well, what are our pain points? Okay, well, let's think about our pain points, right? And it's like, well, not having a secretary is a real hard pain point because this, that, and the other thing, right? But then if we had that same conversation on Sunday morning after the fourth Sunday of horrible, controlled, every cue's been missed, the pastor's mic didn't work the third week in a row,
Yep.
that pain point is going to be drastically different in that moment. Do you think it's because of when we're having those conversations, or do you think that it's just like those pain points are annoying in the moment, but like once we remove ourselves from that situation, it's like, it's not that it's not a pain point, but it's not nearly as big of a pain point as something else?
I think there's an out of sight, out of mind kind of thing that sometimes happens too. It's a really big issue when it's happening, right? The biggest issue is the one that's pressing us at this very moment.
Right.
Mhm.
So, if you are an organization, especially a church that doesn't have a midweek service, you don't have any kind of midweek offerings,
Mhm.
right? There, there's nothing that come to the church for, kind of thing, stuff like that. But there are a few clerical things that you wish were taken care of. Do you really need a dedicated,
Yeah.
office administrator when there's no office or nothing to go on? I can see that being a remote thing. I know DCC where I'm doing the tech stuff. Their office admin now is a remote position.
Mhm.
So even if you were to go for benevolence or something like that, I mean, it's a text and an email to get a hold of somebody. But
Mhm.
as far as the office goes, midweek stuff, there's not much going on. There is a worship rehearsal, and I go for that so
Yeah.
that I know what's happening on the weekend.
And that's
And
kind of your day to like do all the cleanup
Yeah.
stuff and
yeah,
prep
get some
and
things
everything.
cleaned
Yeah.
up, get things set up for the weekend and those kinds of things.
Is your job remote too?
Yeah. I use a lot of remotes.
I'm a remote technician.
I work on remotes and with remotes.
But not from remote.
But I think one of the biggest things, and this would come down to some major, just shift, I think, in thinking and everything.
Like ideology shift.
Ideology. I mean, this would just be huge. Is the church isn't supposed to look for anything for free. It's not supposed to ask for discounts. The church is not supposed to do these things. But that is 90% of the churches that we've worked with, that we talked to, that we've been a part of. And not just churches. I mean, all kinds of different places, other organizations.
Everybody wants free stuff. Yeah.
Everybody wants it for free. But when the temple was being built, everybody was supposed to be paid for their work, and they were not to ask for discounts. And we are supposed to honor people for the gifts and the talents that they bring.
Mhm.
And I think, but that doesn't mean you can't let somebody help you for free.
Right.
Yep.
Right. So I want to clarify that too. Like,
You can receive that.
yeah, you can totally receive it. But our position is to give.
Yep.
And that in giving to them, then there's that reciprocation, right? Like, we love Christ because he first loved us. People want to give to the church in service because the church was there for them in their community, doing the thing that Christ called us to do as a church body. Now that person then wants to come say, hey, you know what? I know how to film, or I know how to run audio, or I know how to do lighting design. And I would really love to see our live stream go to the next level or something like that. So I'm going to volunteer my time to do these things. And it also doesn't mean that the church can't put out there, hey, we have a need for somebody in this area. But we're really not supposed to go out there and just ask people to do it for free. But it is fine to say, we could use volunteers in this area. So in my mind, when it comes to something where even somebody who is volunteering.
Isn't that reverse what you just said? Like, if you say that we could use volunteers in this area, aren't we then asking people to do it for
I
free?
guess what I'm saying is like that we have openings in this area.
Yeah. We need someone to fill this
so
spot.
Used to saying volunteers for everything, right? So like I said, mind shift. Geez, I can't even shift yet, right?
I mean, yeah, this is a paradigm shift.
Yes.
Thought
That's
process.
the word I was paradigm.
Yeah.
Such a good word.
Because like there's a lot of paradigm shifts that we have to do because like we've been taught so many things, and teaching isn't necessarily like thought out, hey, you need to understand this. This is, I'm going to teach you this. Like, it's just like, no, this is just what we do. You get taught bad habits.
Yeah. We saw it happen and we replicate it, right? That's how we do stuff. When, it becomes wash, rinse,
well, we
repeat.
can't afford 17 staff members. I get that, but
and you don't need 17.
Well, then that's what I'm saying is that like, I feel like most of the time this conversation gets brought up, people think that we're talking about a full-time staff member. And it's like, I don't think that that's what it is. I don't think it takes a lot of funds to hire a contractor to come in for 2 hours during the week and 2 hours during the evening, right? 4 hours in one day to do some work, and then be there for 4 to 6 hours on a Sunday to make sure that things are taken care of. That doesn't take that much money.
You're right.
Nope. Yeah. And I would also argue that's more commonplace now with people having side hustles and doing a smorgasbord of part-time jobs.
Also a good word.
Let me
it's like we're playing a game with
now I'm hungry. I know. So there's a Scrabble board between us right
these
now.
words into the podcast. We're not doing that actually.
Let me throw out another like thought process to you. Like Scripture calls us to go out into our community and reach the lost, feed the hungry, all that kind of stuff. Would you rather pay someone to run your tech and then say, if you're going to volunteer your time, I'd rather you go and volunteer at this event that we're going to do to reach the community?
Yeah.
And show the love of Christ outside of our four walls.
That is exactly what we're supposed to be doing. That is on the unpaid stuff. That's not building. I think there's a big misconception that bringing more people to your church is building the temple.
Yeah.
As far as, and that's weird because I mean, we do, so like we are the temples, of Christ. And so there's some things to think about, but they're not talked about with the same words or anything so again, there's a paradigm and a whole dynamic here to shift on that. But like, the tech stuff that's happening, or that inside of the church, the LED walls and the audio and everything else, maybe you have, or just a couple of microphones, or just somebody whose job is to make sure the mics aren't squealing. I don't know, or they just keep,
or the batteries are fresh,
that kind of stuff. If you don't have somebody that's offering to volunteer their time to do that.
Yeah, and I think that thought process and the question I just asked doesn't mean that you have to decline everyone that goes, hey, I don't want you to pay me. I don't want to go out and do those other things because maybe I'm uncomfortable. Or it's like, that's just not like where they're at, which maybe isn't necessarily like a great thing, but like, that's a conversation for later,
And I think it's a difference of work in the temple and work of the temple, you know what I'm saying? Or like working in so like when I'm talking about temple in this instance, right? The people you're paying to come in, they're the contractors that are building it or do whatever.
Yeah.
And we're not supposed to be looking for discounts and trying to do it for free, whatever.
Pay a man what he's worth.
But what's it?
Pay a man what he's worth.
Pay a man is what he's worth. When the church is going out and doing a work in the community, that is different. That is building, but that is because we are adding, to the numbers, not necessarily of our specific church building even, but just to the body of Christ.
And I asked that question because like, I feel like a lot of churches that I've been involved in at any aspect or any level, that the argument for not doing more in the community is because they're already asking so much of their volunteers. And that's where that question pops up in my head. And I feel like this is our position in the AV section is 9 times out of 10 mostly volunteer driven because there's not enough need for a full-time staff position. I can hire someone that can be the children's pastor and the receptionist and the wedding coordinator, and it's like they can do 4 things because again, your church is small enough that like there's not enough people getting married, there's not enough people coming to the front, right? There's not enough to hire a full-time staff member for all 5 of those positions, so that one person could relatively comfortably do all 5 of those hats, right? And so it's like, but we are at least looked at like, well, that's a really complicated job, but there's not enough things for you to do. We can't just hire anyone to do that. Right. So it's like, we'll just find a volunteer, to like figure that out, or Steve, the dentist that goes to our church is like, I like technology. I can do that.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, that's just the paradigm of what we do. And so now we're never going to pay anyone because we've never had to pay Steve because he didn't need the money. Right. Yeah. And well, Steve is no longer our tech guy because he
moved to Florida
or died or, you know, whatever.
That's the same thing. Moving to Florida. I'm sorry to everybody in Florida. I saw a great t-shirt from a band from Florida that said, Under Oath from Florida, the state where, or what does it say? From Florida, where America goes to die.
We don't talk about Under Oath anymore.
I just did.
We're gonna edit
Devin, we're gonna have to edit that out. But
yeah, I think that it really, again, another paradigm shift here. You weren't kidding when you said there's a lot of paradigm. Like, I mean, there's a lot of them that have to shift. Is our focuses are backwards as, like, especially the American church and everything. But not just the American church. I mean, it's been happening since Christianity was a thing. Mm-hmm. There's always been it's shifted, and we've moved so far away from the idea of the church goes out. And the majority of the reasons why we already have so much of our volunteers, and so we wouldn't ask them to go do these other things. It's because you've asked them to do so many actually unimportant to the kingdom things.
Yeah.
And so, like, if you're not talking about like children's ministry, which I think is huge, that should be like a huge number one thing, in our churches, or, a couple of other different positions, then we're talking about something that really is just, oh, well, because this church did it, or because this is the way we've always done it. So isn't there supposed to be somebody in this position? No, not necessarily. But then also, are we equipping people to be that light? Because you are supposed to be able to go. No, you're supposed to be able to go to a bar and hang out with people there. That's what Jesus did. You're supposed to be able to go and sit with these people, but be equipped to be the one that helps pull people up and just be love. And you're not even supposed to be preaching at them, but just hanging with them, understanding them, and loving on them, and let them see that, and then wonder what it is that you have. But we put so much focus on bring people here. It's the only way to get them saved. Yeah. Add to the numbers here. It's the only way to, increase the kingdom of God. Like, all of this stuff is so inward focused and weekend. There was this big movement for a long time. It's all about the weekend. And initially they had stupid at the end of it to be like, kind of like keep it simple, stupid. And then everybody was like, guys, this doesn't work. It's all about the weekend, stupid. This is a church thing. Like, maybe we don't do that. But it's not all about the weekend. That is like the worst mindset.
Yeah. And I don't think that that's every church. I think that we've
church,
definitely been a part of churches that are that way. Mm-hmm. I do remember, like, when I left Res, being on staff.
I should say primarily evangelical, larger churches tend to swing that way.
I went and started, like, getting involved at another church and, like, realized that they paid all their volunteers.
Yeah.
It wasn't a lot. I think I was getting paid like $50 a service or something like that.
Yeah.
But everyone was getting paid $50 a service, no matter what they did, at least on the AV side of things. So it's like the guy that was running the small board in the gym that was just, an overflow service, he got paid $50. The guy that was running broadcast audio got paid $50. The guy that was doing switcher, right? And then the guy that just sat on the comm to make sure everyone knew what was going on and fill in where they needed to. Everyone they made all $50. Mm-hmm. And I remember going, like, that seems so crazy to me. Why are they not volunteering their time to do this? Yeah. But what I will say is that the time I was there, which wasn't a super long time, like, I think I did that for about a year. I don't think that I one time ever heard anyone, when they made a mistake, go, well, I'm a volunteer.
Well, that's a statement I've heard a lot.
Every single one of them went, I got to do that better. Mm-hmm.
And looks like I'm going to be on YouTube after service to figure something out.
And it's not like people made mistakes all the time. It wasn't like everyone that made a mistake was talking out loud, but it's like, I will say that, like, they were technically volunteer level people for the most part. Not everyone, but, like, for the most part. But because they were getting paid, that felt to them like the bar is here and I have to reach that bar.
Yeah.
Because there's an expectation for me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? I'm getting paid to do this.
Yeah.
Right? And I mean, how many times have we heard a pastor go, "Well, you get what you pay for"? Well, first of all, I think that that's wrong. Right?
If more than just a pastor.
Oh, yeah. But, like, specifically, like, well, I can't really expect that out of a volunteer. Like, no, you can. Because scripture says that if you're going to do something and you say, yes, you're going to do that, you're going to do that to your full ability.
Yeah.
If I show up and say, yeah, I'll volunteer my time to run sound for you, I'm not going to go, that's it.
Yeah.
You're not paying me, so I'm not going to give you all of my special sauce of how I can EQ and compress things properly. Like, no, like I'm going to mix that like I'm mixing the World Series or the Super Bowl halftime show. I'm not saying that I am good enough to do those things, but like in my head, I'm going to give you that much effort from what I can give you type thought process.
Yeah. I know a lot of people that ended up in volunteer positions because unfortunately those in authority used that authority through spiritual abuse to shame people into volunteering.
Yeah.
And so, they don't give it 100% because they never felt led to be there in the first place.
Yeah.
And so they're doing what they can, but then they still get treated like that. They were shamed to taking the position. You're supposed to be doing this. You're supposed to be serving the Lord. And you're supposed to be blah, blah, blah. Well, who says they're not when they're in their daily lives and in their jobs and doing what they're supposed to be doing? Not every, some people mandate, if you're at this church and you're a member, you have to serve in the kids ministry at least a month, or you have to do, whatever. Hey, not everybody should be in the kids ministry.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
It's for legit reasons.
I don't, even if you do pass, all your background checks, which I always laugh. I'm like, one of these days, man, the government's gonna be like, why has this guy had like 900 background checks? I've had to film at so many kids events and film kids camps and different things. And,
I mean, you're probably already on like 4 watch lists.
Whatever. I know that my name's been submitted so many times for background checks. It always comes back clean, but I'm like,
next time you get flagged at TSA, you can go, listen, guys, I'm good. Like my background's been checked like 17,000 times.
Here's the PCO print off. The green check mark.
Yeah. That's me.
I'm good.
I am the green check.
TSA. You hear TSA pre-check? I'm PCO pre-check.
Pre-PCO. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
This is the PCO pre-check line.
For kids check, that'd be great.
Oh, that's a John Christ skit if I've ever heard one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
I know we kind of got a little bit, I think, into the weeds on volunteerism, but I feel like that's a good base.
Yeah, I think if I circle back and go, I think that the definitive answer that I'm hearing from us is that every church should hire a person that is deliberate for what their needs are. That may be just a Sunday morning person. That may be right. So then I think the next step is like every church should be paying at least one tech person, at least, or at least offering it.
Yeah, even if it's a contracted something like you said. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
I would also say, and we kind of had this conversation ahead of time, but with I also think there's a tremendous ROI, return on investment, that a tech person brings to a church. Not only technology, but also how their mind works oftentimes.
Yeah.
More analytical, maybe a little bit more strategic. But we joke about planning center.
Well, funny. It's funny you say that because we were talking.
They can totally help with that too.
Why does it feel like every time we go into like a church build, right? We always get called late, right? And then it's like, well, why did you guys do this? Why did you guys do this? Why did you do this? I mean, we're involved in these church builds so often that like we have a lot of experience. But like you said, we're so analytical. It's like, how does this GC who claims that they've built 17,000 churches not see this, that, the other thing? Not saying that they're not analytical, but like the thought processes are just different.
And it's
it is a different personality sometimes.
Well, and we come from, all of us, we're talking full systems integration. So when we think about things, we think about how every piece works with the next piece and the next piece and the one you might buy in the future.
Yep.
And the one that might break, in a week from, and like that's how our minds
and
are.
And a lot of times our tech is involved in a lot of these other things. Like, how is it when you first walk in the building, what do you want to see? First of all, you want to be greeted, and you also don't want to be being murdered by the speaker in the ceiling.
Yeah.
Right. We also want to have a display that has enough information, right? So it's like we're a part of that like welcoming in thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Why do you know how to set up chairs? Well, because I need to know how to cover it with my PA.
Yeah.
I also need to figure out how to not blind people with my lighting, right?
Yep.
I also have to think about how to set up the chairs and why that should be laid out a certain way to make sure that the LED wall is actually visible from at least 80% of the crowd, right?
Yep.
So it's like, we get so involved in so many of those things because our tech is encompassing of all of those things at some level and shape or form.
And I would say, I mean, again, think about that. Like, I mean, technology is in all these different areas of church, but also all organizations as well. I mean, like, you know, even troubleshooting computers for the secretary or the printers or the Wi-Fi or the security system. Like,
you want to talk about kids check-ins? Guess what?
Yeah,
I've had to figure out 12 different ways to do a kids check-in because of an iPad, a computer, some level of a touch screen. So it's like I have a pretty good idea of how to deploy a kids check-in system. So you want to talk about how the easiest way to flow and, you know, get things to be able to be checked in and not bog up the way to get into the nursery. Guess what? I have experience in that, not because I have led children's ministry, but because I'm a tech guy.
Right.
Like
you were asked to step into that project because you have experience and knowledge.
And it's crazy to think about that, but it was one of those things like we were on a job site and I was like, man, how do we know so much about all these things? Or why do we care so much about all these things? And we started like breaking it down. It's like, it's because we've had to be involved because of tech in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's where I just say, I think a technically minded person brings so much value to a church these days.
Yeah.
And we haven't even talked about social media, video, posting stuff, you know, content.
And when we talked with, you know, Todd, right. And we were, you know, kind of like, not always being the naysayer, right? Always coming in and saying, well, we can figure that out, right? Like if we have that mentality, which I feel like most of us in this room have always kind of had that mentality. That ops people to go, hey, what do you think about this? Right? Because like they know that we're not going to be like, that's a stupid idea, right? And we're like, yeah, but I mean, did you think about, you know, Steve over there has that other thing that's going to conflict with that, and but if we can get him on board, you know, then I think that'd be a great idea. Or if we can get him to shift, then we can do that and it'd be awesome. So it's like, because we've had that experience, I feel like that expands us even more into that side of things. So,
and having a tech person can save you a lot of money. I know we just talked about paying this person, but having that person there who understands the different systems can save you from spending a lot of unnecessary dollars on things, or point out
which
where
brings me to my
something's about to
second
fail.
question.
I was going to say, that's the second question.
Oh, yeah.
Having someone that is being paid, if you're paying someone, that means the level of trust is there. How many times have we walked in and gone, why do you have $5,000 worth of gear that's sitting in a closet that's practically brand new? Oh, it's because we were trying to do this thing and we bought this and it didn't really accomplish what we were trying to do. So then my Sweetwater rep said that we should buy this. So we bought that.
And
I
heard a key word there.
It didn't really work, right? And then I went and called my Full Compass rep and they suggested this. And it's like, oh, but then what we realized is like they didn't really understand our entire system full, like, you know,
so we call B&H.
I was just going to say, or we should call
B&H. Right. So it's not that the Sweetwater or the Full Compass rep or the B&H rep were wrong.
No,
right.
But because they didn't have the full understanding of the system, they're only able to give you information based off of so much. So having that staff member, again, even at the basic level, they should hopefully, because they're being paid, have more of an understanding to be able to help drive purchases to increase, make things better, fix things. So that's the second question. How do we, you know, how do we navigate through purchasing either new gear, replacement gear, or upgraded gear, right? I know like things like pandemics happen and we're all thrust into just having to buy something as fast as we can before it's sold out. But like thank God we're past that. Now we're not in that mindset anymore. How do we make those decisions, and who ultimately should be making that decision for that equipment? Not necessarily like how much money can be spent, because obviously like there's checks and balances that are normally in place for most churches that are watching this. But like, is that the worship pastor? Is that the senior pastor? Is that a board of directors? Is that the volunteer that you have put all your hope in? Because like, if you don't trust them enough to pay them, why are you trusting them enough to spend money on AV equipment that they don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's like all those questions that I start to ask is like, if there's trust, why you're not paying them, right? Type thought process. And like, what do you feel? Is that kind of a hodgepodge question, or does that make sense?
I understand.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we also should probably call this out. Like, there's a lot of factors here. I mean, who the technician is that you're hiring, what your needs are, what your budget is, what your systems are. Like, there's a lot of factors here. Like, we should call it out. We're not like this is the one thing to solve everything. This is these are just some of our thoughts and our ideals.
And used to taste. Or scale, you know, it's a scalable thing that we're talking about, right? Like, yeah.
I mean, just like the staff person, right?
Yeah.
If you have $500,000 worth of AV gear, you probably need someone there more than just Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Right. If you have a sound system, AV system that's been installed for 30 years and has functioned, maybe you don't need that.
Yeah.
Right. That scales depending on your needs. And we talked with Todd about that. I think it was Todd. We talked with we've talked with a lot of people recently. One of our guests.
Somebody talked
where it's like, we have 30,000 people in our church. Our budget's a lot higher than yours is at 300 people.
I think that might have been Lee Field.
Was that Lee?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Link in the description to both. Just watch one and you'll figure it out.
Go back and watch all of our podcasts. They're all great.
Both those videos.
and watch them again.
They're all very, very intelligent human beings, which is why they're here, and that's why I'm getting confused because they're all so smart.
Yeah. Both great interviews. So
But that scales obviously, right? Budget scale between sides,
staff.
I think the people that are working with the technology all the time, every day, whatever, absolutely need to have a seat at the table for the decisions being made with the technology that they are either currently working with or need to work with. And I guess there is something to be said. So say you have someone who's in high school or college, because they're great people to tap on the shoulder for doing this type of stuff. But then if they're college and they're not at home for college and they go away, you've got that season where they're not there, whatever. So there may be a sense of like, okay, we're going to start paying this person to put some time into really being able to know this stuff. And they're going to have some opinions on this, but there may still be the need for a systems integrator to come in, or especially if that person really just knows the sound system. But now we've added live stream, and that person knows sound and could probably do a good job of getting sound to the live stream. They're like, cameras?
I can figure it out.
I figure it out. But at that point too, then that's when you bring in, the systems integrator that says, okay, cool. Yeah, I understand your sound system, which is usually pretty, easy for those of us that have been doing it for years to just look at it and go, oh yeah, I know that console. What are your stage boxes? Yep. Okay, cool. Okay. So you went with the model with the 32 by, okay. Yep. All right. Yeah. And you want to do live stream now? Awesome. Cool. Give me a little bit of an idea of, let's look at your congregation size. What are you trying to accomplish with it? All those general questions that you'd ask kind of about everything, but to kind of walk you through everything and then maybe get you a list of these are the components, if you're going to do the live stream side, that are going to work the best with what you currently have.
Right.
And then that person that is in charge of that stuff can also weigh in and bring some things to the table, ask questions. It's going to be great, more knowledge for them and things of that nature. But
because like the online gear people, they go, what kind of console do you have? Oh, I got an X-Ray2. Great. Yeah, you can use that. They have no idea how you're utilizing that.
How's it set up? Are you using head amp split? Do you have stage boxes?
Are you already utilizing the USB out?
Yeah.
Do you only have a 64 by 64 Dante card and you're for some reason using all 64 channels? Like, are you using all 16 of the outputs because you have 11 IEMs? And you know what I'm saying? Like,
right. Yeah.
Like they don't usually most of the time, and that's not everyone, like all of those companies all have some staff members that have
a handful of the reps that will.
Yeah. That have come from the integration world and they know how to ask those questions. So it's not a blanket statement.
Shout out to my reps, one of those guys.
You don't have a rep anymore.
Not anymore. When I was touring in the band though, we had a rep that was always like, every time we asked about, a piece of gear or we were being sent a piece of gear from one of our like sponsors or something like that, he'd be like, so what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
And we'd explain and he goes, so do you have this then to connect to this is a great piece. Cool. You guys are getting it for free. That's awesome. But you have these IEMs, which means you're going to need, because he knew what we had, and we're like, oh, thank you. It was great. It was like talking to like in this group, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Got to meet him,
And I had a band integrator back in the day. Like when I was like cutting my teeth on video stuff because like we had never live streamed before. And it's like, hey, I think I need these 4 pieces of black magic gear. And the integrator we worked with was like, here you go. And I was like, great. Oh, I need this, that, and the other thing.
Yep.
Like, why would you not tell me that? They're like, well, you didn't ask.
Yeah. It doesn't hurt to ask what somebody's level of involvement with the particular type of equipment has been in the past. Because then you don't feel bad for treating them stupidly, but then you also don't feel bad because you didn't share enough, right? Like
what I tell all my clients is that if I used to work at Disney World, I was a forklift trainer, and I was 20 years old at the time. And the Disney World requires you, Siri's talking to us.
Just so you know, it's 3:28 p.m.
Random time.
Disney World requires you to be site specific trained in your forklift. So like if you're at the Magic Kingdom and you move over to Epcot, you have to get recertified on the forklift there.
Yeah.
I had guys, I was at Disney Springs, well, downtown Disney at the time, that would come from the Magic Kingdom. They'd been there for 35, 40 years. They got like 2 years left before they retire, and they wanted it a little bit easier. So they're coming to a little bit slower paced place, right? And 20-year-old who has literally been alive, like they've driven forklift for twice as long as I've been alive, right? They would get super like annoyed with me training them as if they've never driven a forklift before. And finally, the one guy, he was a grumpy old man. And I was like, listen, man, here's what's going to happen. Okay. I just go, yeah, you know how to do this. And I skip over all this stuff that I'm supposed to teach you. And then you create an accident of some sort. What's the first thing you're going to say? Well, I was never taught that.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, you were never taught that? Who was your trainer? And guess who's now in trouble? This guy. So listen, I understand you know all this. I'm teaching you. So when you make an accident, I can go, nope, I taught you that. It's your fault.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He immediately was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. It's not that you think I'm dumb. You're covering your own butt. And I'm like, yeah. So like, that's my thing is like, because I had that integrator that did that. And I'm like, and I was mad at them because it was like, listen, like you've integrated our systems and now I'm trying to do this thing where I'm still buying the equipment from you. I just didn't have the cash to pay you to like install it. I still feel like you should have said, hey, what are you trying to do here? Because like you would have sold me more equipment. And you didn't. And so I don't want to be that guy, right? So it's like when someone calls me, one client, hey, I need you to quote me blank, blank, and blank. Cool. What are you trying to do? Right? I know your system. What are you trying to accomplish? Oh yeah, we're trying to do blah, blah, blah. Cool. That's not the piece you want. You want this piece because it's going to let you do this thing like you just said, and, you know, and then you're going to want this piece over here as well.
Because if you order a number 1, you get the 3 tacos and a drink.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Now I want Taco Bell.
Order the McGriddle in the meal, and then you can get the buy one get one for $1 burrito, and it's $10 instead of $17.
Right. Yeah. You know, either of these people can feel free to sponsor these spots.
Yeah. Just menu hacks. Yeah.
Yep.
I think what you guys have both talked about is like expertise.
Yeah.
And I think that's again what a staff member on like a paid person brings. I even think about like, or instead of doing a new system, like I would hope that they would be able to evaluate the current systems and say, hey, like, man, we really need a new Mac soon.
Yeah.
Man, that PA is not rigged right. Or, hey, we continue to have problems with
seen that.
Yeah. We continue to have problems with this thing overheating or failing. Like that's, I think, what in my mind is also a high value that they bring.
Yeah.
Because then they can say like, hey, I know you really want to do this, but like, we need to put some funds into this.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're going to spend a lot of funds on a Monday morning after it breaks on a Sunday.
Yeah. And for those people, like those people have to come with the vision of that, right? Like just saying we need a new speaker system. Why? Because the one we have sucks. I mean, that's not vision.
No. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Hey, listen, like
how does it align with the church's mission and vision? How does it? Yeah.
Right. Hey, you know, when the PA was installed, there wasn't a drum set on stage, right? It was, you know, Susie was leading, you know, hymns from the organ,
acoustic,
and now we're contemporary, right? And the pastor was speaking. That was the only thing. Well, now that's not the case, right? We need a sound system that can keep up and produce sonically what we're trying to produce with our band. And this PA doesn't do that, right? And no, we can't just add a subwoofer because this speaker isn't designed to go over to here, and like the sub that we'd have to do to cross over, like it's just going to be a
but I
mismatch.
have tried to massage the system as much as I can.
It's 30 years old.
We've eked everything out.
Yeah.
But I'm going to buy a bigger amp so it's louder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boom, horn shoots out of the speaker. Everything's over with. We've seen drivers fly out of speakers.
We had a client that was like, "Hey, can you come tune our system?" And we did like a sweep just to see what the PA was doing. And it was like, we like came up and like we took the grills off, and it's like all the cones were just like
surround is just gone, and it had been like blown through, and you're like,
I didn't do this.
This wasn't me. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, and knowing that kind of thing, right? Yeah, somebody that can understand, okay, hey, humidity affects technology, especially speakers, especially ones that are paper cones or, depending on what the accordion edge is comprised of. Most speakers are flown pretty high. It's a little bit harder to control, the temperature and humidity and everything up there, but you got to do it to the best of your ability. And this idea of, we've talked about this before. Maybe we could talk with Ben about it sometime as well. As it's like, you're better off to leave your AC on, but to a certain level to control the humidity at least within a room, than to turn it off and just let it swelter all week and then waste even more energy to try and cool it back down. But you're also creating an environment in which, if you have acoustic drums, that's no good for them. If you are maybe a little more traditional, but you have like a cello or a grand piano or anything like that on stage, not good for them.
Any wood instruments.
But most of these boxes, especially the higher end ones that are like a Baltic birch or something like that, also not good for them. And we're decreasing the life of everything, so it's looking at it as a total investment. I'm going to do a thing called Little Foxes, a little video about that kind of thing.
Teaser.
We're teasing that right now. Stay tuned. But all about, some of those little things. What do we got to look out for those little types of things. So it's a little plug now, but I'll stay away from it. But somebody who has the knowledge and can look at the system and look at all the components and be able to speak into that and have the trust there, right? Like you were saying, you hired them, or you even brought them on as a volunteer, because even bringing somebody on as a volunteer, if you're going to hand them the reins to a system or something like that, there's got to be a level of trust. So when they come to you and say, hey, I care about what we're doing, our mission statement is such and such, and I see that it's our heart to do this. And so because of that, I just wanted to point out that whatever, this amp is near end of life. Oh, we've got this room. It's got 13 amplifiers in it. It's a small closet. Everybody put their seat cushions on it, and there's no air conditioning, and it's 1,000 degrees in there. These are just things we've seen. I know that it seems obscene, but and I think we're going to lose everything. We got to at least get the cushions out of there, maybe leave the door open a little bit. This thing's going to overheat.
And I think
really quick, that's how they pay for themselves.
Yeah.
That's
now they
like
just
you
save
are
you a
now
bunch of
saving money
Yeah.
or not having to make a big emergency purchase on that Monday morning. Because it's like, hey, no, we're going to control the upgrade of this. And we're going to wait for a good deal. And there it is on Black Friday, and let's buy it and go for it, or buy it used. So
yeah. And I would encourage any pastor that's out there that is like having their tech guy give them, like, say it's a laundry list of things that need to be upgraded that are going to someone else that they know, right? We've seen this a bunch, right? My cousin knows how to do audio, right? My cousin works at a bigger church, right? And then they come back and go, yeah, we're not going to do anything you suggested. We're going to do all those other things, right? Well, that person that you just asked doesn't know your system either. They're that Sweetwater rep again, right? The idea of going to that person isn't a bad idea. Coming back with, hey, so like, help me understand why you chose these things, right? So, because that person's going to say, well, I would do this because of that, right? It gives that pastor now some sort of insight. Oh, that lines up. Great. So it's a different product because, why did you choose this product instead of something else? Right? To ask those questions, because I think asking questions that may make them go back and do some more research and say, hey, like, I'm not anti this, but like, I feel like I've got too many questions that feel like they're unanswered. Like, because I did talk with some people and it just doesn't seem like with what you're saying, what they're saying is lining up. So if you could answer these questions for me, then we can move forward. I think that what that does in that moment is it puts the responsibility back on the person you're supposed to be trusting.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And if they don't come back with with good enough answers, then that's a different conversation. Maybe you're not in the right position.
Mhm.
Maybe you're good at,
It's outside your scope.
yeah, maybe you're mixing and you're good for Sunday morning, but we need to look to someone else for the integration of things.
Yeah.
And that's where a systems
bring in
integrator
the-
comes
yeah.
in, right? Or, your cousin from that other church. Hey,
Yeah.
can we pay you to consult and come in and
Do some training.
do some training, or just tell us what you think can fix some of these problems, right? But then it's like, hey, I gave you that opportunity. I tried to trust you. You showed me throughout the process of this that it's just not your thing. Like, you're not really capable of it. Or it does something where it goes, oh yeah, like I didn't even think about that, but yeah, these are the answers. Oh, I'm really glad you asked that question, because I would have bought this thing and I found out that I actually needed this thing.
Yeah.
Right. But then now they've learned, right? And now your staff member or your volunteer is now a better staff member, a better volunteer because of that. But you didn't break that or make your team feel like you didn't trust them or didn't like them.
Which is
huge, right? Because a lot of times pastors just go, my cousin said this, so clearly you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, that's super hurtful for anyone.
Yeah.
You know what? I listened to another pastor that said this, so that means that you don't know what you're talking about when you preach on Sunday morning.
First of all, every pastor out there could read Crucial Confrontations and Conversations.
Yeah.
No matter what, children's pastor, youth pastor, senior pastor. It is unfortunate, the responses sometimes that we get from church leadership on stuff, worse than anything I've ever received working on Hollywood films or anything. I mean, they act like just terrible. And I get it that the thing is when you're in a church, there's a possibility that you've been taken advantage of a lot of times. And now you're just heated and you're the wrong person to receive, this conversation. And they think,
and I've had some clients that have been taken advantage of. So they're really hard clients to work with because they're all worried that that's going to happen again. Yeah. So it's like, I get that.
But it's like, regardless, you have to take that out of the picture. You have to come in and have an understanding.
Yeah.
So coming in with questions, like what you just said, hey, I was just looking at this. I'm just curious if you could help me understand how we came to these numbers. Another person had suggested this other stuff. I see you're suggesting this. Maybe help me understand the difference.
Right, because it doesn't feel like you're throwing their idea and their thought process out.
Yeah.
And,
or their 20 years of experience or their, whatever.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Which, whether, it's good experience or not.
Yeah. And I think we should also, we're talking to the church leader here, but I think we should also talk to the tech person of like, hey, they may not hear you.
Do your due diligence too.
This might be a longer conversation of why you have to switch out this small thing or why you need more money or, who knows, whatever you need. So,
and a good presentation is not just, we need new speakers. It's going to be $50,000. Okay, thanks, bye.
Yeah. And you hired me to be the expert. It's
I know what I'm talking about.
How dare you question me?
I mean, the tables turn real quick.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Especially if you have people in leadership that honestly don't, and it's weird to me, right, being an audiophile, but people that don't notice the sonic difference in some stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm like, wow, I can't believe they don't.
But most
people
don't
hear it.
Most people can notice the difference, but they don't until it's side by side.
Yeah, that's just it.
Because I've had those clients where they're like, we're not replacing this audio system, and I'm
it's
like,
great.
You need to.
Yeah,
it's so bad, and it's like, hey, let me do a demo. Just let me bring a demo. No cost to you. If you don't like it, you don't want to do anything, you still feel the same way. Yeah. Cool. Like, no harm, no foul. Like, sure, why not? And I bring it in and they go, I didn't understand what we had versus what we could have. And I'm
they
like,
did not know sin until I came and revealed it to them. No, that's terrible. Same idea, but
same thought process.
Yeah, they just didn't know. They didn't know how bad it was.
Okay, so let's wrap this up.
Yeah,
let's land the plane.
Yeah, I guess we really should. I could keep going.
But we should. I mean, this is good conversation.
Oh yeah.
So let's each give our own conclusion, what we feel like we feel. So Sean, what's your conclusion?
On question 1 and 2?
Yeah.
Sorry, phrase the first question again.
Say, I might need the questions again.
When should you hire someone?
Could you put it into a sentence, please?
When should you hire someone?
Could you give any alternate definitions
or meanings?
When should your tax be paid, and at what level?
Your taxes should be paid your tax.
You're
All right.
Texas.
That's
Texas.
the origin of the
Noun.
Yeah. When you get to the point where you are expecting perfection, no, because even then,
You have
perfection
passed
is
the
you
point
have
where you
passed,
need to
then you
hire
have passed the
somebody.
point where you need to. You've passed go, but you're supposed to pay $200. I think that I lost my thought on this, but it's coming back to me.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we start paying our techs when we ask for somebody to be a tech. It depends on how you're having to approach the situation. So I do, because we kind of talked about how there's the two different roles, and there's somebody comes to you and is like, "Hey, I know how to do this stuff, and I'd love to do it for the church." That's cool. I can accept that. When you
I
start,
still think the church should offer to pay.
yeah, I do, especially when they start you're like, okay, you're taking care of stuff that's not at a weekend or a weekday service. You're educating yourself even more to learn how to do these things, and you're taking on volunteer leader roles, where you're like, oh, I'm going to teach other people how to mix and to do these kinds of things. I think even that is starting to go past where they need to start being paid something.
Yeah.
When somebody is coming in and they're bringing their expertise in, they should be paid for it. Just period. Like the one that you talk about where it's $50 a service, whatever. Even if it's small, something that just says, listen, you're bringing this
You're
talent
bringing
here
value
and doing this thing, then because otherwise, don't expect them to tithe or give offerings, because they just gave their time and their gifts and their talents, which is also acceptable. So don't get them on about that then either.
And then question number 2.
Or should we all give our number 1 first?
Sure.
Okay. I'm going to go super textbook. And I think you should bring somebody on staff when you've surpassed a reasonable expectation for a volunteer role. I love volunteers. I think they're great. But I think there is a point where you have a higher expectation of either time, experience, or just time or experience. Really, honestly, that's it. Beyond a volunteer.
So what would that
So that
level
would
be, do
maybe
you think?
look like if you were expecting somebody to be there, like to do some prep during the week and at rehearsal.
Mm-hmm.
That might be beyond a volunteer. And again, this varies wildly from church to church.
Yeah.
Because some people are like, no, we want volunteers at rehearsals.
Yeah.
And I would also say too, I think this also goes like church wide. Like if you have a expectation for somebody in the nursery we talked about earlier, or in worship, or they're even like a regular teaching pastor that goes beyond a reasonable amount for a volunteer. And again, that will vary from church to church. That's when I think it's time to compensate or pay somebody.
So I think in order to do that, then there'd have to be some sort of, I don't know, like when you have a job description, it would have to be like volunteer position descriptions or something like that, you can say, hey, it's very clearly defined. These are the
volunteers
express expectations.
Showing up at 8:00, an hour before service, but this person we're paying is maybe showing up at 6:30 to make sure that the building is on, that heat's on, the lights are all working. Yeah, that's beyond a volunteer. Yeah. No, you're right. Like again, where I said earlier, like you have to craft the role. And I think you should be crafting volunteer roles as well. Like I've literally legit made job descriptions for every volunteer position.
Rollcraft. It's the new Minecraft.
Yeah, Rollcraft. Yeah. So Justin, what are your thoughts on
Very,
question number 1?
very, very parallel to your guys's. I think the terminology, and I'll describe explain what my thought process on the terminology. Like you said, as soon as there's an expectation at any level, that person needs to be at least offered money, right? Of any level of expectation, you have to be here an hour before service, immediately paid.
Okay.
My mic has to be on. That person has to be paid. Like zero expectation of like get here whenever, doesn't really matter. If my mic doesn't come on, not the end of the world. We'll work through it. Not like those are things that like I don't think that you have to. But I think as soon as there is any sort of expectation, that person needs to at the very least be offered to be paid. And then like we've talked about, they can decline it. When someone offers to come and help me pull the stump out of my front yard, right? If I just assume that they're doing it for free, I'm kind of a jerk for that, right?
Or if you don't try to reciprocate, yeah.
If I go, hey, dude, Sean, thanks for coming over. Like our relationship's a little bit different, but it's like someone from church that like,
you know that if I say, I'll come help you, you already know. I mean, I'm just going to come
exactly.
help you. Yeah.
But like if there's someone that I know, like I wouldn't expect that from you because our relationship isn't the same as me and Sean's relationship.
Yeah.
I would be like, hey, dude, let me give you like $50 for helping me. Most likely because of where our relationship is, you'd be like, bro, no, like I'm here to help you. Like it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Cool.
You ripped out my stump, I rip out your stump. What the heck, you know?
Right. So I think there's that. And then I think like you said is that like with that, there has to be a job description. Has to be. Because time and time again, what we've found is like we talked about, because we get so involved, we watched one of the guys that worked at the church before us. He took on too much because he cared too much.
Yeah.
Not cared too much, but he cared so much that he took on too much, and then all his plates started dropping, and then everyone was frustrated at some level, right? Yeah. Some more bigger frustrations, some more little frustrations. Those people have to be contained. So it's like, no, like this is your world, right? I don't care if you pop out of there every once in a while, but if that doesn't exist, it's like now you're doing everything. You're building the church website, you're taking pictures on your, the upload to the social media, you're creating shorts, and you're running audio on Sunday morning, you're running practice, and you're in the meeting, you're in the creative meeting, you're in the worship meeting, you're in the planning meeting, and you're in the building meeting. It's like you're a tech person that's not paid and you're doing too much, right?
Yep.
And then I'm burned out. You guys suck. You guys you guys killed me. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
No, you killed yourself.
Yeah. Nobody asked you to do those other things.
There's a huge actual operational void at the church.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I think that's the other thing is for church leaders, you got to be careful. Like, man, like be thinking about the value that these people are bringing, and if they were to step away, because it can happen, good and bad. Like, I mean, hey, good and bad. Yeah.
If it's service critical, and you have all of these expectations on them, and you're unwilling to pay them, they're not really volunteers. You're treating them like slaves.
Yeah, 100%.
Servitude, yeah.
And that's where why I come with, if there is an expectation of any sort, it's now a paid thing.
Yeah.
Now that changes if I have decided to volunteer, and you're like, well, we need you here at 8. So if you're good with that,
okay with it, yeah.
And I think, and that's the thing, that's where it's at really helpful for both parties.
Yeah.
Hey, this is what we're expecting. Okay, well then I'm expecting this.
Yeah.
And those
Pay
expectations
or whatever
should be written up no matter what, I feel like, because it brings a level of to the person who is volunteering or getting paid or whatever. There's just sort of like, hey, I understand my role now. I understand what is expected of me. If it's not in there, I can't really get in trouble for it.
Yep.
Right.
If it's
not in there and I find that it's something that has to keep happening, we need to either talk about, hey, did you, like, this role actually can't be completed if this other step isn't done, and it's not something that says it's expected, but it has to.
And there's going to be friction.
Yeah.
If there's an expectation.
Yep.
No. I feel like that's we've kind of laid what we truly believe on that. Like that's not in the ether, whimsical. I feel like that's pretty straightforward. And I think that scales with that responsibility. Like the more expectations there are for that, the more time that person needs to be there, the more money that person makes. Right.
It'll be nice. This is one of those videos that's out there. I've seen so many of the other ones where you watch, like, ooh, I wonder what they say about this. And they end with, well, it's really up to you.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
It's not why I turned on this video. Freaking clickbait.
Yeah. I want to know what you thought.
What do
that doesn't mean we have to go
think?
with it. I just wanted to know what you thought.
We're not telling any of you that you have to do this, but if you don't,
yeah.
Come on.
And I think I circle back to that. Like most people feel like we're saying hire a full-time staff member. It's like, no. It's like, how much responsibility, like how much of that is there? Like hire someone to fill that space. There's lots of people that do that, and there's lots of people available for that. So
get creative. Right. You can do a lot of different things.
Yeah. Second question, Sean, we'll start with you, unless Jordan, you want to go first this time, is the purchasing of gear and like the seat at the table, who ultimately should land that plane. And I know that's a really tough one to like really answer. I'll go first on this one.
Okay.
I think that the size and the structure of the church, are you a paid person or are you a volunteer? How long have you been there? All play a role in this thought process. So I think that in order for me to answer this, like you said, not just like, it's up to you.
Here we go, people.
I'm going to give you some structure of like what I think, right?
Yeah.
Because I believe if you're at a place where new gear is being talked about or needs to be talked about, that there's been an expectation set on you. You're a paid person at some level.
Yeah.
Okay. So like that's the foundation of that. I don't think that you should be the ultimate answer to that unless you are a full-time 40-hour plus a week staff member. That should not be on you. I think it should be on you to cultivate the thought process and the need and bring it to your lead, which in most cases will be the senior pastor. At that point, I don't think that the senior pastor alone should make that decision. Obviously, most churches have financial committees or deacon boards that dictate funds, but I think I have a client that I'm working with right now that I feel it has done it really well. The tech person was the one that reached out to me, said, "Hey, we're having a bunch of problems. I need some help." Right? They talked with me. I talked with the pastor at the same time. I was able to come and say, "Hey, here's the cost to fix all these problems you guys are having. Do you okay, cool. We think that these are great things. Let's talk to the deacon board." I went to the deacon board and I explained everything because they didn't have enough know-how to articulate it well.
Mm-hmm.
That gave the board enough legitimate detail that they could make decisions on what they wanted to spend money on.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, the pastor's going to get to choose based off of what the board says they have finances for. But that pastor is also full-heartedly relying on the tech person to be involved in that conversation.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the tech person, it's not the pastor, it's not the financial board. It's kind of this molding of all of them.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, the buck stops with the pastor, right? The decision that gets made is going to blow back on him or boost him.
Or the elder board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's actually more churches in America are elder board led than.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like our friend Jeff Abbott, he would say, I can walk into a church and tell you if it's an elder board driven church or if
Right
it's
away.
a senior pastor right away by the tech.
Yeah.
Because usually most of the time the pastor doesn't want to do the tech because he doesn't want to spend the money.
Yeah.
Right. But when you have a group of people that are making a decision together, right? Because that doesn't mean that the entire elder board is agreed.
No.
It just means that a majority of them agreed.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a higher chance that somebody in there understands the need for it.
Right.
And is able to speak to another person there that they know a little bit better and
100%.
they're able to make that
Mm-hmm.
decision. It might take longer to get to the decision.
Yeah.
But
so is that clear? Does that feel like the answer?
yeah, clear as mud, bro. I
think
love
so.
it. No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. That was good. That was good.
Yeah.
All right.
I would say, and then again, this is an ideal world, right? I think I would like to see the stakeholders agree on a solution or path forward. So if we're talking about tech, then it is your tech lead and maybe there's some worship oversight. I do think senior pastors and senior pastor or even like executive pastors, depending on the size of the church and the staff,
Mm-hmm.
I think they get to be an X factor and they kind of get to decide wherever they're going.
And that's why I delineated like the person that leads that. Like in most churches, it will be the senior pastor. Like you said, some larger, like when you start to get into like 400 or 500 person churches, most of them have an executive pastor as well as a senior pastor.
Or like an operations pastor.
Yeah. And therefore, usually they're the ones handling that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say though, I think funds and resources available generally need to be decided by like elder board or executive leadership. I don't know if they need to be in the nitty gritty all the time. They might say, hey, here is X amount of dollars and we do want this, or it's got to be able to do, we do want an LED wall because we've seen the results. We don't want a new PA because we did invest in that 10 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I think it's that stakeholder group responsibility to hopefully agree on the best way forward. Mm-hmm. Now, that's where the decision is made. Prior to all of that, though, I do think, like you said, I think the tech lead needs to be involved in bringing different quotes and different options to that table so that that group can make the best decision. And that can be with an integrator, through an integrator. Yeah. So I think for me, it's the stakeholders, like who is going to be impacted or is going to be responsible for the system's function, or, for the printers working at the nursery, like, yeah, I think it's the stakeholders.
Yeah.
So, that doesn't, I didn't boil it down to like one person. So if you're looking for a one person answer,
and honestly,
I guess we can't, because they different churches function differently, right? Like, so.
And honestly, I don't think I know any single church that we've ever worked with that the decision is on one person, outside of like the churches that are literally like the only person is the pastor.
The senior, they say senior pastor because it sounds like maybe there's somebody else, but it's just the one guy, the one guy, or the one lady, the one.
And
that's it.
It's having like a church van that starts at like 20.
Yeah.
It's like there's not 19 other ones.
The only one.
Yeah, and I mean, sometimes that's weird because like, don't you guys have a board? And they're like, yeah, but they're here to make sure that like the building's power's turned on. They don't really care about what happens in the sanctuary.
I think that's where I like seeing. I've seen different versions of that body, that governing body, and I think sometimes they can get really in the weeds, and it's like I personally don't think it's always healthy for that.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would like to see those groups setting vision and maybe some specifics, like, hey, we want to do this, we want to engage this vendor, use this platform, whatever. Like, but for the most part, I want to see them like laying vision out and strategy, and
we do have
forward future thinking.
We do have a client that like their what's the terminology? Like their protocol.
Okay, yeah.
That's in their bylaws
Policy or something like that. Yeah.
Is that like any money over a certain dollar figure has to go to a congregational vote as well.
Yeah.
But it doesn't even get to them until like the financial committee says, yeah, we do think this needs to happen.
Right.
But then it goes to like, hey, you're the ones that are giving us this money.
Right.
Like, we want to make sure that you agree with us.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And honestly, that felt the first time I heard that, I was like, oh, that sounds cumbersome. And then like the more I thought of it, and the more work I did with them over the years, I'm like, yeah, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Like, and that threshold's pretty high.
It's kind of like saying every vote counts.
Yeah.
Well, like, or vote or voice, because really what they're then doing is saying, hey, does anybody object here?
Yeah.
Like, we don't want to hear about it when we're about to fly the rig that you don't like the color of the speaker.
Yeah.
Like, we need to hear that now.
Why did we do spending money on this?
Well, and it's not necessarily at that level. It's like they would go before the congregation and say, hey, we feel like we need to spend $300,000 on AV equipment, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like,
or a new wing. Of a building or something.
Yeah. So for instance, they went and said, hey, we need to remodel the sanctuary. It's going to cost $1.25 million, right? That got approved by the congregation.
Yeah.
Inside that $1.25 million, they didn't have to go and approve the AV system.
Yeah.
They had the approval to do the project.
Yeah.
And they trust the leadership to go, this is how much it's going to cost to do all the things we want to do.
Yeah.
Right. And the leadership's not going buying gold toilets. Right. And so
I heard they warm up quicker though, so that's nice.
I don't.
You know, they
I don't hear that. I hear they're freezing cold all the time.
I don't hear anything about gold toilets, so I'd love to come across one.
I'll test it.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think I'd feel a little weird pooping in a gold toilet.
The platinum.
Interesting. Oh man,
it's just a metal. So
tell that to people getting about to engage.
You're right.
About to get engaged.
Okay, so
happily married.
My answer for question 2. I'm gonna roll it back just a little bit because I want to say too. So I own a film production company, and even just in the last, I don't know, several years, even back when I was heading up the film department for a marketing agency and stuff, I've had a lot of interns from different colleges.
Mm-hmm.
And I do not believe in unpaid internships because everything, especially in film, is a shoulder to shoulder thing. So to me, it's a lot like having a tech volunteer or something like that at your church.
An apprentice.
Yeah, an apprentice. They are actually doing work while they're with you, or they should be, because if your intern is doing nothing but getting you coffee, they're not learning. It's not an internship. It's not an apprenticeship. That's not how this works. Mm-hmm. They're doing work that brings value to the company.
Yeah.
Mm.
And they should be compensated for it. I don't have to pay them $125 an hour, but they should be receiving something, especially because a lot of these students, they're paying to have to take a class that requires them to get an internship that then they can't get paid for.
They can't graduate
They
without
can't
it.
graduate
Yeah.
without it.
Yeah.
Like it's just,
And
to me, it's unfair.
you have seen
Yeah.
a lot more places like paying interns.
Yeah. And I,
But
like
I totally agree. Totally agree.
Yeah. So like the guy that
I disagree.
I never pay interns. I just make them get my coffee.
I've never had an intern.
So I don't know. But the thing is too, though, so the interns are paid because I believe that. And that's just like the tech person, right? Because they are doing something that adds value, and a lot of times in mission critical ways, right? Those expectations are upon them. And the other thing is that I'm allowing them to be in meetings or working on projects where bigger decisions have to be made. Like one intern that we had recently that's now an employee was all graphic art stuff. There's all kinds of graphic art stuff involved in film and marketing, different things like that. But I don't know everything about that side of stuff.
I know a lot, but not everything.
Not everything,
You're leaning on their expertise.
Leaning on their expertise, allowing them to come up with ideas and then present them, and then even ended up having them do presentations in front of the clients and stuff to essentially get those, like, hey, look, you've got the passion for this kind of stuff and you've presented it to me. I agree with what you're talking about. So in that case, that's kind of like, I feel the volunteer or the person who is actually receiving, some stipend for this stuff, coming and telling their lead or whatever, whoever that may be. And then them saying, yeah, this is great. Okay, now let's bring this to the board. And you know what? You've got the heart for it, or you've got these things. So go ahead and come in and be a part of this. Because I would go so far as to say, even when I was doing some stuff for some really large organizations, I would get together with volunteers when I felt like I needed to bring in a new piece of equipment, just talk to them about, like, they might have an idea. Oh, but what if or they can start thinking about that new piece and maybe training, even just on YouTube, even if it's not in front of them, start learning how it might work once it's a part of the thing. But not even like, I'm going to get this, and if they don't give it to us, right, we got to stay positive about it. But it's like, hey, we might not get this, but this is an idea that I had. I'm seeing a need for this. What are your guys' thoughts? Cool. Yeah. Okay. That's good. Oh, you actually have a better idea. Never mind. We don't need this now. I don't know who I'm pointing to over here. This person over here in this box has a better idea.
That's a C-stand.
It's a C-stand. Hey, CC. But I feel like anybody that's involved in that thing, kind of like we've seen it before, right? All of a sudden there's a new console on the table and your volunteer walks in on Sunday and goes,
am I expected to run that? Use that?
What's that?
Yeah.
Whoa, we got a new board?
Bro. Is there anybody here that knows how to, where's the power button? Yeah, I mean, like,
Yeah.
It's happened before. So
we're back on Windows.
Windows. Oh no. Oh man.
Shots fired, Anthony.
So I think that anybody that is involved in any of those mission critical areas needs to be involved in the conversation, at least.
Yeah.
And then moving it on up the pipe. Yeah.
I would say that I love that thought process, but I would warn against involving too many people, though. It's a balance, right? Balance is a key to everything we ever do in our lives, because I've been a part of those churches that do that, and they get too many people involved.
Yeah.
And then it's like, sometimes it makes it impossible to make a decision. Like, why is the interior decorator involved in where we put the sound booth?
Right. So I'm talking sound people involved.
Yeah.
It's a good clarification. Good point. The people that are volunteering, or even the, stipend, whatever, or you're contracted in to do the audio or the tech, should be speaking into the tech stuff that's happening.
Yeah.
Interior decorators, that's a whole different thing. I've watched some weird stuff go down with that. But I mean, you want to see a lot of unusable, unsit-onable furniture? There's a couple places I could point you to.
We've been involved with churches where it's like, why are these people involved in the decision of whether we get a new sound system or not?
Yeah. I was definitely in one that made the determination on where the sound booth went, and that was terrible.
I mean, most sound booth locations are terrible.
I wasn't there the week it happened. I went on vacation and I came back and the sound booth was moved.
Bro.
And it was in the worst position, way off to one side in a diamond, kind of thing.
This is a whole nother topic.
I bet the wallpaper was great though.
Oh, what?
Wallpaper was great though.
Oh, the wallpaper was great. And there was a, uninterrupted line of sight, which then later when I explained why it should have been where I thought it should be, they were like, oh man, that would have taken care of the problem with all the light coming in through the back doors.
In next week's episode, we're talking about HVAC placement.
Yep. Oh, Lord.
Just kidding. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening to this podcast. Make sure you subscribe. If you're on YouTube, make sure you smash the like button, the thumbs up, right? Listen to us on Spotify, share it. It'll make Sean's day, it'll make him happy, it'll make him giggle. He'll giggle like this if you hit the subscribe button. And Jordan will...
That was not a sound effect. That was a little creepy.
Jordan, on the other hand, if you follow us on Spotify, will make this sound. Perfect.
I've heard him do that before.
Insert sound effect here.
That is what happens if a tree falls in the forest and no one's there to hear it.
Yeah.
That's that sound.
I didn't know if we were going for like a good sound, a bad sound. Like I didn't know what we were doing.
We're going for your sound.
Okay.
You want to do one more time? If you follow us on Spotify, Jordan will make this sound.
Have a sound.
There it is, right
That's
there.
his sound.
Please comment down below. Let us know what your thoughts are on this. Are you paid? Are you not paid? Should you be getting paid?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you're being paid too much. Be honest with yourself. And
that's a real thing too.
Yeah, sometimes that's the case. Make sure you go check out, I don't know, one of these videos. We talked with some really cool people.
Mm-hmm.
All right, see you guys later. Bye.